A sewing lesson from Sew New York. This lesson will teach you how to hand stitch the blanket stitch. Hi, welcome to Sew New York. I'm McCracken, and today I'm going to teach the blanket stitch. I don't have any examples of the stitch, but many of my students have been asking me to teach it to them, so I thought I would teach it to them in class as well as show you how to do it here on my YouTube video. The blanket stitch came out of embroidery at some point, and it's been used on clothing. You can use it on accessories, anywhere where you'd like to put a decorative stitch, because that's what it is. It's a decorative edge stitch. So I'm going to show you what I do have. I love putting that on a garment like this. This is a camisole, it's a silk camisole, and I would put the blanket stitch right around the bottom. If you had cut out a piece of wool, a nice size, say you wanted a blanket, a small blanket, a blanket for your bed, you could put the edge stitch with the proper thread all the way around the outside of it, and it would look just fantastic. So you want to think about the threads that you use. Silk buttonhole twist is a great thread. It's nice and soft. That's what I'm going to demonstrate with today. But oftentimes you might use an embroidery thread, or you might use a heavyweight dressmaker thread. It's something that you want to think about, and what kind of effect do you want to have on the edge that you're decorating. So let's go take a look at the blanket stitch now. Okay. Now we're looking at a sample of a piece of cloth, and I'm going to show you on this cloth how to do the blanket stitch. You can do the stitch over a raw edge, or you can fold it a little bit, which is what I've done. I folded it just about 1/4 inch, and I basted it. So I'm going to work with this. You can, if you decide, just use, you know, the plain old raw edge. Hang on, just like so. And this is a very thin piece of cloth. This is a cotton voile, and as I said before, I like doing the blanket stitch on lingerie and light fabrics. You could also do it on something heavier. So it's a very simple stitch, again a decorative stitch, and you're going to work, normally when you sew by hand you work from the right to the left. With the blanket stitch you're going to work from the left to the right. Okay, you'll want to try, you'll experiment a little bit, and you want to try to get your stitches spaced evenly apart. It is a decorative stitch, and it doesn't have to be even. I just think I like it better that way, but I have seen it done where it's variegated. Alright, so now you can see that the thread is coming from underneath with the last stitch. Okay, I'm going to bring the thread, and I'm going to go about 1/4 inch away, and I don't like it too high, just about 1/4 inch high and 1/4 inch wide from the last stitch. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'll do it again and I'll explain it better. Okay, I'm going to go 1/4 inch away from this stitch, and the stitch itself will be about 1/4 inch from here to here. You're going to put the needle into the fabric, go straight down, and you're going to keep the needle behind the thread, in front of the thread from the last stitch. So now this thread, the needle is going over that thread, and you'll see it better in 1 second. Hang on. See how it's behind it? And then it goes over it when it comes through. Let's try that again. So I'm going to go about 1/4 inch away from the last stitch, and the stitch itself will be about 1/4 inch deep. So I'm putting the needle in, I'm going straight down, and the needle is passing over the thread that's coming from the left. So it's going over that thread, and you can see that pretty clearly. The needle is on top. I'm going to pull it through. Going from the left to the right, go 1/4 inch away and about 1/4 inch deep. The needle goes straight down, and it's passing, so that's under. You can see the green thread going over the needle. You want the green thread behind the needle. And slowly pull it through. to look really nice, okay? And again, for decorative threads, you might want something that's contrasting to your fabric, or you could use the same color. And let me give you a nice close-up of that. Okay, that is your blanket stitch. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. See you at the next lesson.